Well, I really enjoyed it, and I think you are always prepared. And I'm also basing my talk now in other podcasts that I've seen you doing it, and I think you're prepared. You ask very thoughtful and deep questions, and it's important. It's nice the way you handle it. I like the fact that it's a conversation. It's not just a Q&A, and no, I think it's very international. I think it's very broad in the good sense. So we are not limiting us, to Italy, to Europe, to America. There is a really a broad way of handling the conversation that I think it's good for the podcast. I also believe that that you have a powerful way of being in your seat, if you will. Sometimes people are just trying to fill up the gap, the hour. You are really putting your work into it, and it's important, because it's always, I feel that when there is a conversation like this, it's a two-way conversation. You might have the most important guest in the world, but if the interviewer is bad, and there is an interview on YouTube. I think it's I don't know. Sometimes in the early 90s, Steve Jobs is talking, but the interviewer is so bad. Even though you have Steve Jobs, at the end of the day, you don't enjoy the interview, because again, it has to be a conversation. Actually, it's not an interview; it has to be a conversation. And I think you do it very, very well. One suggestion I have, I was thinking about now, because I was giving my website. Maybe if you could have a way to write in real time or add. Well, this is not live, so you can always edit later. But it's good sometimes to have a visual that people can refer. Just keep that in mind. It's important sometimes. Because people tend to forget. But being able to have maybe a picture, or add again a telephone number, or a web address, or name of the person you're talking to, because sometimes people don't realize. I don't know how many people actually know this Giacomo La Rosa. At the end, and again, it's not about me. It's just a general thought that I was thinking.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started into this episode.